Hey guys, subscribe for daily content, and if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another short little unboxing video to share with you guys. Just an unboxing and first impressions, not a review. We have some new Kershaw knives, some surprise Kershaw knives, my favorite kind. They didn't tell me they were sending them in, but I'm always happy to look at new Kershaw models because they tend to be some of the more interesting stuff as far as companies who release a lot of new models go. Kershaw tends to have a better, win to loss ratio, in my opinion. Thanks so much to Kai USA for sending these in. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. I'm assuming that these are releasing soon, or maybe now. I'll link these down in the description so that you guys can check them out if you want to. So we have two versions of the same knife. I'm going to start off here with this one. So what is this called? This is the new Kershaw Covalent. Okay, what do we got? Oh, do we have a crossbar lock from Kershaw? I think we do. Look at this. Okay, so first off, I'm almost certainly a knife I believe that this is a Chinese Kershaw. They make no mention of this being, yeah, here we go. So this one, designed in USA, made in China, which is fine. That means that it doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to have a perfectly fair price tag, right? But it should be less expensive than if they made this exact same knife in the USA. We have a captive pivot, a triangular captive pivot with the adjustment head over here. I'm going to guess this is probably housing for like bearings so that you can have a steel surface to write on. We got some nice carbon fiber. We have an interesting backspacer. We have a pocket clip, a nested pocket clip, or a butt nested. That's how I'll say it. A butt nested clip. The nesting for this clip is in the butt. You can flip it around to the other side for left-handed carry, which should be the case because it's an ambidextrous locking system. But anyways, let's go ahead and open it up. What's interesting here is we have a flipper in combination with a crossbar lock. I don't know that I've handled too many of those. A couple, right? Have I? This is weird. I'm not sure what to expect. Wow. I thought for sure there's no way they could make that feel good, but they did. Huh. So this has let me show you this. It's a nice snap. These are very high tension Omega springs, but there's no stick. And honestly, the flipper tab, I thought that it would just kind of be acceptable, but it doesn't take much effort. As soon as you overcome those Omega springs, it's almost like when they snap back into place, they're almost assisting the blade further in deployment. This is a good size, nice lightweight, compact design, very thin blade. We got that two-tone Kershaw. Kershaw loves to do that. There's the logo for the in-house design. This is M390, so with that contoured carbon fiber and M390 combination, they're probably going to put a pretty high price tag on it. If they stay, as far south of 200 as they possibly can, this could easily end up in at a reasonable price point. I always bring up, when we're talking about Chinese knives that combine these materials and end up with good price tags. Kaiser does a really, really good job with that. So if Kershaw can keep their pricing similar to what Kaiser is doing, then I think that would be great, especially considering that Kershaw is definitely a company capable of huge production numbers, massive production numbers. So, but yeah, it feels pretty good. It's such a weird, I'm still questioning myself, like, am I brain farting on a whole bunch of models that combine axis locks with flipper tabs? And I'm like, am I just like having a huge brain fart right now? I just feel like that's not a super common combination, right? It's usually the thumb hole opener or a thumb stud opener, just because that's what we, traditionally use in combination with that locking system. Okay, so the other one it's the same knife, but what we have here, it's reluctant to come out, is titanium. Oh, and they've done something a little bit extra special with this. Ooh, this is, oh, goodness gracious. Okay, this is pretty cool. I like this. This is Kershaw being Kershaw. I know that I'm going to mix him up with Kaiser now, and I do that so often. But this is Kershaw being Kershaw without being too much Kershaw. You know what I mean? Sometimes they go a little overboard. There was a time during, I want to say it was like 2020, 2021, maybe a little into 2022, where everything they were releasing was just wacky. Like, it was too complicated. It was needlessly complicated. But that was, a lot of times, like, that was Kershaw's aesthetic design language. So they're still being themselves without going overboard. This also has a nice, what I assume is a titanium wraparound. Let's see. The butt nested clip. No, that's a steel clip. That's fine though. The nice ultra deep carry clip, which, Kershaw is proving exactly what I've always said. Like, there's a way to do this and make it lefty mountable without like having a big ugly filler tab on each side. They probably have too many screws. They probably don't need so many screws, but it's not that bad. It's 3 per side. So that's cool. Nice, a lot of retention there. This feels exactly the same as the other one. Nice satin finish on these blades. This is, for some reason, S35VN. So the reason that I say that, it's like, in my opinion, you should combine the carbon fiber with the S35VN so you could still, offer up a premium combination of materials, but get that price lower where more people can afford it, and then save the titanium for, combining with M390, because people who are looking for that, they're kind of, a lot of times they're looking for what they perceive to be the absolute pinnacle, and then you can go ahead and charge more for it. So probably it's an excuse to charge more for both. That would be my guess, right? You might be thinking, you dare say that? Aren't you on Kershaw's payroll? No, I can say whatever I want. Yeah, I don't know why they do that. Like, I don't have a problem. Like, personally, I don't have a problem with that. I just know, like, how knife people perceive that. Like, most people are going to perceive M390 as being superior in every way to S35VN, even if they know better, right? They're going to consider it blindly the more premium material, and partially because it does legitimately just cost more, right? But M390 is superior to S35VN in terms of edge retention if they heat treat it properly, right? And you're comparing apples to apples geometry. And it's also superior in terms of corrosion resistance. However, in my opinion, even though it doesn't cost as much to create, CPM S35VN is a better suited steel for general EDC for more people, because it is still very, very stainless. And even though it's not quite, the same as M390, and it also still holds a really good edge, even though it's not the same as M390. In my opinion, more importantly, it is much tougher, and it's also much easier to touch up. So if you're going to be using your knife all the time, I think S35VN makes more sense, but that's just me. But I know that S35VN costs less, and carbon fibers certainly costs less to machine, right? And it also costs less to purchase versus titanium. So you could have ended up with a knife that just cost less all the way around, and then just had one that was like definitively, viewed as the more premium knife. But you guys can tell me what you think. It all really depends on what they want to charge for this stuff. I mean, if I find out they want $150 for this guy, probably not. But if they did, I'd say, oh, never mind, that's a great price, right? I'm just worried they're going to want more than $200 for both of them. And that's based on what I've seen Kershaw charge for stuff like this in the past. All that being said, these are very cool. I do like the idea of a flipper tab crossbar lock combo. Sorry, brain fart there. It's neat. I find myself, this is how I know that I've got to be right. Because every time I pull down on these, I go to do this, and it's because my brain doesn't think about this action, pulling down on a crossbar, being the first step in a two-step process that involves using a flipper tab. It just doesn't feel like that's the next obvious movement for my hand. So I'm sure that more exist. I'm sure that this isn't the very first one ever. I just don't feel like I've talked about many on this channel, if any at all. But those of you who are fully up to date on the metal complex lore, you might actually be able to tell me whether or not I have. I go back through my content sometimes and I'm like, what? I don't remember looking at this knife at all, right? But that's it comes to the territory after you've uploaded 5,000 uploads. Like, you just can't remember them all, But yeah, these do look pretty cool. They're made insanely well. The flipping action, the lockup solidity, there's no lock stick or anything like that. They both appear, well, that one appears to be completely and totally centered, and so does that one. Does that have a little serial number back here? What does this say? Oh, it says Kershaw. Okay, no blade play up, down, left to right on that one either. Very cool. Okay, so the Covalent. I'm going to measure it here real quick for you so that you guys can just get an idea of length here. It's about 7.65 for the entire length and 3.35 inches for the blade. Maybe a little over 3 1/8 for the cutting edge. Okay. This will get a full comprehensive review down the road, but that's it for today. I'll link these knives wherever they are down in the description. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do of course have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on the Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.